Hello, hello, hello. It's me, it's Tara. Hi guys. Here we are, episode 4. We're in it to win it, and we're gonna do this darn thing, okay? Hello, welcome to Sapphic Movie Night with Tara. I am the aforementioned Tara. Lovely to see you, quote unquote. Not really seeing each other, but lovely to be here. So happy you're here with me. We're gonna have a fun one this week, you guys. I literally just now finished the film that we're covering, and what a journey. What a journey. I had watched this movie years ago for the first time. I think it was during COVID, during lockdown, and didn't really know what to expect. It is twisty, it's turny, it's fun, and a bit awkward, a bit uncomfortable if you're a prudish gal or guy or person. So get ready for that. But before we get into any of that stuff, I just want to say hello. I just want to talk about the vacation I just went on. Your girl went on vacation. Okay. And it was a rootin' tootin' good time. It has to be said. Went to Lisbon, Portugal. Heyo. Really spectacular city. Lovely place. Portugal is where it's at. Beautiful weather, beautiful city. Took lots and lots of pictures, and as a photographer, it's sort of a dream there, I will say. So yeah, so I'm actually doing this video on the Thursday before this is getting released, while I'm technically working. Don't tell anybody that part. But yeah, because of vacation, we didn't get back until Saturday, and then Sunday was a day to just recoup. And then I've been busy every day. So this is literally the only day I've had to, one, rewatch the movie, and then actually do this podcast and record. Apologies if it comes out late. I'm gonna try my darndest to make sure it doesn't come out late. But yeah. So I say but yeah and all of that a lot. Apologies. It's gonna keep happening. I'm gonna keep apologizing. But I don't think it's going to go anywhere, and I think we're going to have to be fine with it. And I'm just going to have to move on from the fact that I'm going to sound annoying on this podcast, okay? So, what movie are we covering today? We are covering a film called The Handmaiden. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of this beautiful cinematic splendor, but it probably, on like, if we're going tiers of what we've already seen, I would say this is like Carol level of production, budget-wise. We're looking at higher end here. Now, for you people who don't like to read and you don't like subtitles, this isn't going to be a film for you. And also what I say to you is grow up. Grow up, okay? Subtitles are great. Don't watch a dubbed version. Don't do it. How can you pay attention when the mouth doesn't go with the words? That's crazy to me. A dubbed foreign film is wild. Get the subtitles and grow up, okay? Watch the films. They're great. So this is a Korean film. I'm a big fan of Korean cinema. I think it's very good. I don't watch a lot of like K-dramas or anything, but those are quite popular at the moment. But yeah, so this is a Korean film. You will have to watch it with subtitles, sorry to say, but it is probably one of the better films that we're going to be covering. The director is quite a famous director. Park Chan-wook. You would probably know his work if you've ever watched Old Boy. Now, Old Boy I saw years and years and years ago because here's something about me. Fun fact, I'm a scaredy cat. I was really scared to watch any like horror films or anything like that when I was a kid. And at a certain point when I became a teenager, I was like, I'm gonna move on and I'm gonna watch all the scary things. So I found a list years ago of like the scariest films or like the most messed up films. And I was like, I'm gonna watch them. So I found Old Boy, I think like at a Blockbuster or Hollywood Video or something. And I watched it and it ruined me. I couldn't even watch the whole thing. So I can't really remember what it was because I might have gotten through 20 minutes of it. It's intense. It's fucked. I'm not good with gore. I'm not good with body horror. And it very much had that. But yeah, it was a good film. It was beautiful for those 20 to 30 minutes that I watched. Stunning film. But yes, this director is known for that. He's known for things to be a little bit dark, for things to be a little bit crazy. And I will say this film gives you that. You will say it gives you that. It is twisty-turny. It's a wild ride. It's sexy. Dare I say sexy. And also really fucked. It's pretty fucked. There are a lot of bits in this where I was like, I forgot about this craziness. So be prepared for that. And I guess we'll do some content warnings. It's very, very sexual. So if you're scared of naked bodies and women having orgasms, this isn't going to be for you. Also, I will say, some of these explicit scenes, the sounds, there's some sounds, and you have to hold on to that. I'm a bit of a prude, I won't lie to you. A little bit of a prude. It had me blushing. I was clutching my pearls a little bit when I was hearing the sound design on some of these sex scenes, okay? But what I did like is that I'm only seeing ladies doing it. I'm not seeing any men, no PPs, and I'm happy with that. So yeah, there's quite explicit. We're seeing everything about these ladies. And there's, some abuse. There's some whipping, and, a child being beaten with metal, they're like, it's like a chain of like metal balls and she's being whipped in the hand with it. Pretty fucked. But yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't think there's any other major content warnings or anything. There's also suicide. There's like murder and suicide and stuff like that. So if you are bothered by those sorts of themes, probably skip this movie. But if you can kind of stomach it, I would say this is a great film. So I've already thought about what the rating system is going to be, and I can't wait. I can't wait till I get to that point. So I think, yeah, let's just get right into it, shall we? So this movie came out in 2016. Not that old, about the same time as Carol. Carol is like 2015. So this came out right around the same time. It's sort of a loosely based retelling adaptation of the novel Fingersmith by Sarah Waters. If you know Sarah Waters, she is like a prolific lesbian, like pulpy author. So Fingersmith was set in Victorian England. I believe BBC has their own adaptation of Fingersmith. Maybe I should cover that too, because that was sexy for the BBC. I think I remember a wooden dildo, a wooden strap-on at some point. So that was fun. So yes, this is set in like 1930s and it's in Korea during the Japanese occupation of Korea. So there's two main characters in this. There is Suki, who I believe goes by Tamiko. She is the handmaiden. She is a Korean girl that is chosen by this Japanese count, to go live with this maiden, named Lady Hideko, and she is sort of chosen to go be this woman's handmaid by this count, and that's how the movie sort of starts. And then very quickly, this is I'm going to be as spoiler-free as possible because there are so many twists that I don't want to give everything away, because I think you'll actually enjoy it to listen, or to watch, not listen. You'll enjoy listening to me. You'll enjoy watching this movie. So what you sort of find out very quickly is that this handmaiden that you think is like unassuming and has no idea what she's doing and da-da-da-da, she's not who she says she is. She is working with this count to sort of take this lady's riches. This woman is rich. She is what is it? An orphan. She's an orphan. She's rich. This fake count, who's not Japanese, he's actually Korean, is pretending to be someone, and he is using Suki, who is actually like a jewelry thief and a pickpocket, to get this Lady Hideko to marry him, and then he's going to commit Lady Hideko to an asylum, and then he's going to take all the riches, and then he's going to give some of the riches to Suki and her entire family. And her family is in quotations. She's also an orphan, and she like lives with other thieves and has like grown up learning how to like forge and be a thief and all that good stuff. So that is sort of like the kind of spoiler-free version of it. If I go any further, I'm gonna break up some spoilers. But what I will say, that is a bit of a spoiler, is that there's a happy ending at this, and it is very gay. So we'll leave it at that. So it's like these two cons go to this lady. They go, you know, we're gonna do this job and whatever. Suki gets there, she's doing her job, and then she realizes, oh my god, I sort of have gay feelings for the lady. Okay, and it starts almost right away. There's one scene in particular that made me laugh. I laughed and felt a little bit uncomfortable. Now, this movie did make me feel uncomfortable as a prude and as someone who's like, I don't understand how anyone would get any satisfaction out of that, but hey, you do you. One of them was the lady was in a tub, of course, naked, and she is sucking on a lollipop, I guess. Very strange. I don't know why she's always sucking on lollipops. I don't really understand that part of it, but hey, maybe in 90s Korea that's what they were doing. So she's sucking it and she's like, ow, my tooth is sharp. Tooth is sharp? Is that a thing? So anyway, Suki, Tameko, or whatever her name is, goes off, gets a thimble, and then sticks her finger into this woman's mouth and starts like shaving the tooth, I guess. I think she's like buffing it so that it's not sharp. But I'm like, why is your tooth sharp? Did you crack a tooth? Girl, you need a dentist. So that was strange, but very sexy. Like, she's like, you know, shaving down her tooth, and like they're looking at each other very longingly. And of course, the lady naked, she's looking at her boobies, okay? Suki is like, hello boobies. She's very into them. And you know what? I don't blame her. I'd be into the boobies as well. You got a naked lady in front of you, sitting in a bath, you're shaving down her tooth with a thimble. And then she like kept the thimble on her and wouldn't, like, she kept putting it on her finger and stuff, and I was like, okay. Listen, you know, at this time, there's not much you can get off on, you know? So thimbles it is. So yeah, I think I chose a hard film to talk about, given it's nearly impossible to talk about it without spoiling everything. And for anyone who is listening to this and is going like, well, I want to watch this, I would say like watch it before you listen to me talk about it, because I'm going to give things away, I think. I'm gonna give things away. Because Suki is like in this to make money and like save her family, and then she's like, but the thimble thing happened, and like I want to do it with this girl, and do it they do. Her loyalties swing from this count and like her thieving friends to like, listen, I shaved her tooth down and I saw her boobies and I'm into it. I can't blame her. So yeah, like they get funky and they do stuff, okay? And like some of it is awkward to watch. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's one part where like, how do I explain this? So Suki's going downtown. Do you understand what I mean? And she's priming herself for fun in her lady garden. Okay? I'm trying to say this in a not dirty, filthy way, because I am a lady at the end of this. I am Lady Hideko. I'm probably saying all of this wrong as well, which is hysterical. But yeah, she says like her bits are like spectacular or something, but the camera angle, stupendous. You have to watch it. I mean, it really makes me laugh because she's going for it, right? So the camera is in front of Suki's face as she is presumably looking directly into her lady pocket, okay? And she's saying, hey, this is spectacular, and the count is gonna love your badge, is essentially what she's saying to this gal when they're doing it. Because it's the quintessential, like, hey gals, hey all you lesbian gals out there, we all did this. We all learned to kiss with our friends. Okay? This is essentially what they're doing. She's learning how to have sex with her very best friend. So she's like, yes, the Count will love this, and it'll be as soft and supple as this when you do it with the Count. Spoiler, it will not be. Boys are gross. Sorry to all the men out there. Sex with you is gross. I digress. So yeah, she's looking in her lady bits and going spectacular. And then she goes in, camera, again, directly in front of her face. Her tongue is sticking out. And she's going in with her tongue sticking out. I wish I could recreate it. This is not a visual media. But boy, oh boy, that made me giggle. I was laughing. I laugh and I laugh and I laugh. So that was awkward. I will say that made me a little bit uncomfortable. Didn't enjoy that part, but boy. Cringy, yes. And we need the cringe. I think every lesbian film needs cringe. Otherwise, is it lesbian? Also, a lot of tongues, a lot of tongue kissing. Very intense. I'm like, gals, calm down. There was one part where they're first like, how do you kiss? You know, and she gets out the lollipop again. The lollipop is back. And she rubs it on her lips. And then she goes in to kiss Lady, and this is Suki. She goes in to kiss Lady Hideko, whatever her name is, but just rubs her lips against her, like rubbing lips. And I was like, why are you doing that? It's that like, I don't understand. But hey, it's not for me to understand. Maybe they did things differently back in 1930s in Korea. You know what I mean? Maybe that's like how they got into the kissing part of it. Was, hey, here's a lollipop. Let me rub it on my lips, and I'll just rub your lips so you can taste the lollipop. Hey, that's what she said. So yes, it very aggressive, very awkward, but hey, sex scene. And I will say, like, when it comes to, like, in the realm of a Carol, where it's like, oh, these are two straight ladies who have never kissed a girl. I would say these two young ladies. So the actors are Kim Min-hee is Lady Hideko, and Kim Tae-ri is Suki. So these are two Korean actors. They're very, very good. It feels like they've kissed women before. And good for them. So yes, they do some weird kissy. They are falling for each other, guys. It's all happening. Then more twists and turns. And I can't get into it because they like each other, and then it gets really complicated. And then you're seeing things from different perspectives. That's what I like as well. You see the movie from two different perspectives, so you're getting Suki's version and then Lady Hideko's version. And they're almost identical, but you're seeing different perspectives, and it's very interesting. Lady Hideko's, like, whole backstory is nutty. Kind of gross. Let me tell you what, uncles are a problem. The uncle in this, a gross pervert. Okay? And we'll just leave that there. But yes, great. The structure, fantastic. You're like, where are we going with this? I don't understand what's happening. What? Did not see that coming. And I love that stuff. I love not seeing where it's going to go. It's great storytelling. Cinematography out of control. Absolutely out of control. Period piece as well. So you're seeing like old cars, old fashion. You're seeing the history between Korea and Japan and what all of that means. And it's very interesting. It makes me actually want to look up like this history because it's like, it's fascinating. So yes, great. I had fun watching. I did watch the extended director's cut. So I think it was like an extra 20-ish minutes or something. I don't know what the extra 20 minutes were in it, I'll be honest, because I don't really remember the original time that I watched it because I was so shocked by the twists and turns. I'm not gonna lie. The first time I watched it, did not know where it was gonna go, did not expect the sex scenes, did not expect that, because when you watch queer stuff, you kind of don't expect, unless it's like blue is the warmest color, which this was giving sort of blue is the warmest color, but like a Korean Japanese version that didn't feel exploitative in any way. Like, these women did not feel like they were being forced to do things they didn't want to do in front of a camera, if you get my drift. And I think that was very much part of Blue is the Warmest Color. So very explicit, a lot of stuff happening, but fantastically done. Park Chan-wook, I think he's seemingly very good at at making people comfortable, because you could see that these people were comfortable with each other, and it didn't feel voyeuristic or anything like that, if you get my drift. So yes, this movie is definitely in the lexicon of Sapphic film that people really care about. I will say that because the main driver of the film is the relationship between these two women and how complicated it is, and girl power, where my Spice Girl head's at. I think that to me is the most important theme of this, is seeing how women are treated, but then seeing these women get what they deserve. That might be a bit of a spoiler. But yeah, they are the focus of the film. They are the focus. And I like that. And together and on their own as well. I think they're smarty pants. They're genius women who seemingly had a life expected of them by men, perhaps, or they would have to do what a man says to get anywhere, to like leave their life, to get anything better for themselves. But turns out they don't need no man. And I think all us ladies, we need to remember that. We don't need no man. But I did do a little bit of background on this film. I looked it up a little bit, and that the director he worked very, very closely with the actresses to make sure that they didn't feel exploited, because it is an explicit film and you're seeing a lot of their bodies and you're seeing them do things, and it's explicit. Like, it is very reminiscent of two women actually having sex, but it doesn't feel like it's done for the male gaze. It doesn't feel like it's performing to give men boners, if you know what I mean. These women are not objects of our affection or objects to be looked at and like drool over. Like, there's a reason they are getting together. It's not for no reason. Like, these women care for each other and they want to make that connection. So it feels more female gaze than male gaze, which I'm all about. To be honest, it is like refreshing that a man did this film, because I think you can see like how it should be done. And seemingly a lot of men who do lesbian cinema don't nail it in the way that he did. And I think, God, the Carol director, Tom Haynes, I think he's decent at it, but again, I think he's only seeing it from a male perspective. Where I think Park Chan-wook, he took in the female perspective of it, which I love. Beautiful. And the thing is, the sex scenes actually matter to it. They are part of these women finding their own agency and potentially finding a companionship with each other to be like, we can do this together. We may not be able to do it on our own to get to the lives that we see for ourselves. And sort of, this is kind of a spoiler, but dupe the men to get what we need out of this. But yeah, like they're finding, especially with Lady Hideko, I think when you see her side of things, like she's allowing herself pleasure, which she, because of her life, as you'll watch in the film, she's not allowed pleasure. It's sort of been like removed from her due to, they call it training, which I'm like, no, it's abuse. But she allows herself to have pleasure, and this woman is able to give it to her. And I think that is why the scenes are great. And they can be intimate together. I think these are two people too that are very, very lonely, and they finally found their person, and we love that. So also, like, to have this story that is set in period pieces that I think we white folks understand, so like Victorian England and things like that, or like Regency. We all love, Bridgerton. Never watched it, sorry to say. Too straight for my liking. Get some lesbians on there and then we're talking. But Regency, all of that kind of stuff. This is taking that time but moving it into a new setting, and I think that's really interesting. I think it's very refreshing. So to see the Japanese influence the Korean sort of their self-hatred, to be honest. Like, a lot of these people like want to be Japanese because they think that they are disgusting. I think like that was quite sad to watch as well, but really interesting because we white folks, we don't know much history outside of white history. So when it comes to like Japanese occupation of Korea and their class structures and how they treated women and controlled them and how that culture um how that culture sort of works, I think was really, really interesting to see in this film as well. So I very much enjoyed it, you guys. I had a good time. Anyway, so let's just talk about how beautiful this film is, okay? I don't know if it was done on film. It looks like it was. I don't think it was. 2016, I imagine it's digital. But the sound, the lighting, all of it. It is stunning. The setting, they end up going to like Japan at one point because it starts in Korea, I believe, and then it's like this giant manor in Korea. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But they end up going to Japan, and they're outside at one point, and I was like, my God, I want to go there. But yes, I think sound is a really big part of this film. Again, when it comes to his other films, I imagine he's quite similar. There's not much in the way of like music, but the sound design, everything matters. There is one part, I mean, I hope this doesn't give anything away. There's an octopus bit where you just hear the squelching of an octopus, and that was nuts. That was nuts. So, yeah, the silence is nuts, but then it makes it so you hear everything, and it makes it very intimate, especially those scenes, I will say. Sound in that, you guys. The sound, you hear it. You're hearing stuff, okay? You're hearing it, and I'm just gonna leave it there. The actors are so good. I think the thing that I like so much about these actors is that they're very good at like really subtle changes, like when it goes from the different stories, like the different perspectives, like the way that the facial movements are so subtle and everything. It was good. I really enjoyed it. Really, really enjoyed it. And we'll say at the very end of this film, it ends with a sex scene. Okay, when do you ever have that? So spoiler there, ends with a sex scene and something about silver bells. There are silver bells that are put in certain areas, and I'm just gonna leave it there. I don't understand it, okay? I'm not gonna yuck anyone's yums, but I don't understand the silver bells. And we'll just leave it at that. And I think that's what I'm gonna use as my rating system. We're gonna give it silver bells. So, yes. What else is there to talk about? I think the best thing about this movie when it comes to Sapphic film is that the gals have a happy ending. Sorry if that spoils anything, but I think that needs to be said because barrier gaze is a trope that is used very often, and this does not have that. And I think we can appreciate that. And I want people to go into this knowing they're going for a ride, but it's going to be great at the end. There's agency with these characters and agency with the actors themselves. And I think that is really fun to watch. Yeah, and again, like when you see the different perspectives, when you see the story shift, like the power that these characters have, it's cool, man. How often do you get to see like queer women having agency and having power and doing the damn thing, quite literally? So yeah, I think there are a lot of men in this who are not good men and have the potential to be the worst men. And I think what's nice as well in this is that either the women do the damn thing or they don't, the director doesn't let it go into it. Like, we don't need to cover it, we already know it, you know? And I think that's what I struggle with sometimes is like, I know about the evils of the world. I don't need to keep seeing it. We already know it's happening. Maybe if we created a world in which evils don't have to be the story. It doesn't have to be the drama in that, whether it be abuse, killing of women, hate crimes, any of that kind of stuff. I think we can write our own stories and we can change things. And I think this this film does that. It subverts a lot of expectation, which I thought was very fun. And I'm not gonna lie to you, the two gals in it, hot. They're hot. And that's always a good part too. I very, very, very much enjoyed that. This movie is definitely different from the other ones that we've covered. I think the closest one you're gonna find, I mean, it has elements of Debs in the caper con sort of thing of it all, and then kind of the cinematic excellence of a Carol. But yeah, but I'm a cheerleader. I don't think I'm gonna find any connection to that unless the happy ending. You get the happy ending on that. So yeah, you're gonna love this film. I can promise you that. You're gonna have fun. It's going to be, hey, depending on how you feel about sexy things, right? You're either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it. Okay? Again, the sounds, I'll never get over it. I'll never get over the sounds. Also, during the sexy scene, after she's looking into the lady garden saying, it's spectacular, and then continues her work. There's one part where she looks up at the lady, and I will say there's some moisture on her face. And boy, I got a giggle out of that too, guys. I was like, wowie wow wow. Okay. And there we are. And that's how it's done. So yes, I would highly suggest this film. I think you're going to really enjoy it. I think it's got something for everybody. I think it's got the twists and the turns. It's a thriller. It's interesting. You sort of think it's going to go one way and then it subverts that. And when you think it's going to bob, it's going to weave. And that's really, really, really fun. And I think you'll enjoy that. So, with that being said, we're going to rate this. I think I'm going to give it 5 silver bells out of 5 silver bells. And please let me know what you think about the silver bells at the very end. Just liked it so much. I had a hoot and a holler. There were times where I was a bit uncomfortable because, you know, I'm sitting by myself watching two ladies go at it. And that, like, you know, is fine. But when you're a little bit of a prude like me, can be uncomfortable. But I think, again, it was beautifully done. It made sense to the story. It wasn't just sort of thrown in there. So yeah, let's give it a 5 out of 5, you guys. Get them silver bells, ring a ding ding, and enjoy it, won't you? Yes, I had a lot of fun with this. I believe in the UK, I'm trying to remember how you can watch this. I got an extended cut of this. Had an extra 20 minutes. Again, I don't know what was in the extra 20 minutes, but I might have found it in a particular part of the internet. But if you want to watch this film, I believe in the UK you can get it on the BFI player and Curzone, which is like a channel that you can get on Amazon, or you can rent it or purchase it from like Apple TV, Amazon, Rakuten, all of that kind of stuff. In the US, I believe you can get it on Prime Video. So if you want to watch it, there's the options. I also have the extended cut. If you'd like to have the extended cut of it that has the English subtitles on it, let me know. I'll send it your way, darling. I may or may not have a link that I can give, but who's to say? If you want to get a hold of me, if you want to give me any feedback, that is always super duper welcome. I have a Facebook page that is called Sapphic Movie Night with Tara. You can find me on there. You can email me if you'd like at sappicmovienight@gmail.com. Or, you know, pen pals. I love a pen pal. But yeah, or comment on Spotify and go, hey girl, I need you to do this movie. You didn't even talk about this part of that film. Or you know what? I'll have a little chat with you about it. I'm into it. So if you have anything that you want me to watch, if you're like, I kind of want you to watch something that is about this, let me know. That'd be so fun. I would enjoy it so much. So, with that being said, thank you. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Sapphic Movie Night. I hope you enjoyed it. And keep on ringing them silver bells. If you know, you know. All right. Bye.